Following a head-on crash yesterday morning by the Homestead Meadows South neighborhood out in far East El Paso, 100 block of North Ascension Street. Upon investigation,
If you need real money, get Wainwright Injury Lawyers.
Coming up, new steps to close the Department of Education. Several programs are being moved to other federal agencies. We have the latest from Washington, D.C. on the dismantling of the department. Then, following the Texas high school football playoffs, 3 El Paso teams are back in action tonight. Our sports director, Sam Guzman, is on the road live from Lubbock, Texas, with all the exciting details. And we're expecting fall-like weather this weekend with temperatures right about or slightly above average. Our guest meteorologist, Darius Stringer, will have a look at your forecast in just a little bit. KTSM 9 Plus starts right now.
You're watching KTSM 9 News First at 4. Starts right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to KTSM 9 Plus, your digital newscast. I'm Cristina Rodda, in for Monica Cortez today. We are following a developing story out of far East El Paso where a man died after a head-on crash. Now, the incident took place yesterday, and that was in the morning near Homestead and Meadows South neighborhood. According to the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, a dump truck lost control due to wet road conditions. It skidded into oncoming traffic, striking a Chevy truck driven by 34-year-old Benjamin Caballero de Anda head on. De Anda was rushed to the hospital where he later died due to his injuries. The city of Sunland Park wants drivers to be aware of a traffic disruption near Ross Street and McNutt Drive. Now, as you can see in images, a small sinkhole is causing some traffic issues as officials respond to patch things up. According to the city, Ross Street is closed at McNutt Road. The right lane on McNutt Road is going south, also closed. Drivers are being asked to take Camino Real Drive instead. And in a follow-up, the city of El Paso has confirmed that El Paso Zoo Director Joe Montesano is no longer employed with the city. In September, the city confirmed Montesano was on administrative leave, but would not say why. Now, back in March, a lawsuit was made public from a former El Paso Zoo employee that alleged Montesano and his staff knew she was being harassed and did nothing to stop it. The city says Assistant Director Gary Lunsford will serve as the interim director at the zoo, and Montesano's old position is now open to recruitment. A possible increase in your water bill. El Paso Water presented its proposed fiscal year 2026-27 water, wastewater, and stormwater budgets to the Public Service Board on Thursday evening. Now, if approved, the typical residential bill would increase almost $10 a month, a 12% increase over last year's bill. El Paso Water says the utility is proposing an $830 million budget for capital infrastructure improvements, which include investments in system reliability, rehabilitation, and water supply to support the growing El Paso community. Now to national news. The Education Department is making more big changes. News Nation Bureau Chief Mike Viqueira has the details.
New steps to close the Department of Education. I'm Mike Viqueira, News Nation Washington Bureau Chief. On the campaign trail, President Trump promised to close the Department of Education and move oversight of schools to the states. On Thursday, Education Secretary Linda McMahon announced that several programs were being moved to other federal agencies. For example, the Labor Department will now oversee funding that goes to serve low-income communities. But to make those changes permanent and to ultimately close the department, Congress would need to act. McMahon says she's consulting with members of Congress to, quote, explain to them exactly what we're doing, adding, we will be looking to Congress to codify those. Critics argue that the moves will lead to worse outcomes for students, especially those who are low income or disabled. Republican Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick says in part that altering them without transparency or congressional oversight would pose real risk to the very students they were created to protect. I will not allow it. I'm Mike Viqueira, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
We are going to take a break from our headlines right now. We're going to take a look outside through our tower cam, and we had some spotty showers in our area in the last 2 days, but the weather has produced a sunny, warm day today. Let's see how long that lasts. We'll send things over to our guest meteorologist, Darius Stringer.
Happy Friday, everybody. Meteorologist Darius Stringer here with the Check of Your Forecast. Looking at temperatures out there right now, actually kind of cool in a few areas. We got some 30s, some 40s, some 50s, and upper 50s as well. So we see a little bit of everything going currently. We are going to continue to see those temperatures overall continue to cool down overnight tonight. But the good news is the winds haven't been too bad today, mainly around 5, closer to 10 miles an hour over towards the Guadalupe Pass area. Gusts closer to 15. That's about it. So overall, it's just been a nice fall day out there today. We've had plenty of sunshine to go around for everybody, so it's definitely a good way to end the week. You can see most of the activity really well off towards the west there, so really not worried about anything coming our way tonight as we head into the start of our weekend. Looking at our 9-hour forecast, mostly clear skies, maybe some isolated activity trekking through as we get into the late night hours through the overnight hours, but overall looking at fairly quiet conditions, maybe some spotty showers and storms and a little thunder as you're heading to bed, but overall looking at temperatures staying pretty mild through the rest of the evening for weather coming up in just a bit.
Well, our tech stock cams give us insight into some of the roadways around town. Let's start with I-10 and Reynolds. Now you can see that traffic going east has several lanes with vehicles not moving very quickly this afternoon, and going west, traffic moving very smoothly. Now we're looking at US 54 McCombs, where there's very little traffic, especially on the service roads. Nothing to worry about if you're heading in that direction. US 54 McCombs, again, pretty good out there. And first at 4, the El Paso Metropolitan Planning Organization Policy Board has adopted the Borderplex Safe Mobility Plan. Now, as we have told you before, the plan is a, quote, comprehensive, data-driven roadmap designed to eliminate fatal and serious injury crashes and make travel safer for everyone in the Borderplex region. According to the organization, the plan identifies high-risk corridors for improvements using community input. They will also review and update the plan periodically to keep data current, respond to evolving community needs, and keep streets safe. Now, if you'd like to view the full plan, you can go to KTSM.com. After the opening round of the Texas high school football playoffs, only 3 El Paso teams remain alive. All 3 of those teams back in action tonight in Lubbock, Texas. KTSM 9 sports director is on the road keeping up with all 3 teams, so Sam Guzman has more ahead of tonight's action.
Hey, Christina, we are here in Lubbock, Texas for the second round, aka the area round of the Texas high school football playoffs. As you mentioned, we got 3 El Paso teams still alive at this stage of the playoffs: Eastwood, El Dorado, and Andress. I want to take you through their matchups, and we'll start with the Eastwood Troopers, who are right behind me here at First United Park. They're getting ready to take on Byron Nelson, and look, the Troopers have had a great season. Last weekend they had success. They were one of the few teams that punched their ticket to the area round. The Troopers took care of business against Friendship with a 45-30 win at Trooper Stadium. Today, Eastwood will take on Byron Nelson, a team that finished second in District 4-6A, coming in as runner-ups to the district champs, South Lake Carroll, who is known as a powerhouse in Texas high school football. So very tough task ahead for Eastwood. Kickoff is at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Central here at First United Park. Let's get to Class 5A. The El Dorado Aztecs, they beat Amarillo High 77-76 in 4 quarters at the SAC 2 last weekend. Today, the 10-1 Aztecs will face 8-3 Richland. Richland finished 3rd in District 3 5A Division 1. El Dorado and Richland will meet at Texas Tech's Stadium, Jones AT&T Stadium. So pretty cool opportunity for both teams there to play in a cool stage. Kickoff for that game is at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Central. The final El Paso team in the area round, the Andress Eagles. Andress beat Wichita Falls Memorial 28-14 at Allen Sepkowitz Stadium last Friday. It was the first time a team from El Paso beat a Wichita Falls ISD program. Looking to today, Andress will face Melissa High School. They finished 2nd in District 4 5A Division 2. This game is going to be happening at Friendship High School. Kickoff for that game is at 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central. So again, we've got 3 teams in action. All 3 of these teams have their work cut out for them, especially the Eastwood Troopers, who, as I mentioned, are taking on a really great Byron Nelson team who competes in one of the toughest districts in all of Texas. Again, this game kicking off at 6 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Mountain. We're going to have much more coverage coming your way at 4:35 and 6, so make sure to stick around. For now, reporting from First United Park, Sam Guzman, KTSM 9 Sports.
How exciting. Thank you so much, Sam, and we'll check back with you in our next half hour. And in case you missed it, this year's Winterfest is back tomorrow, bringing holiday magic to the Borderland once again. And this year, the city is celebrating its 10th anniversary with more lights, music, and family fun, plus festivities kicking off tomorrow in San Jacinto Plaza with the tree lighting ceremony that starts at 5 p.m. and the Shirley Gate Lights Parade that starts at 6 p.m. Now, Winterfest will run through January 4th. In the spirit of giving, Destination El Paso is set to host its first ever community food drive, and that's this weekend. It's part of the organization's Global Acts community program and aims to support families in need across the Borderland this holiday season. The drive is happening this Sunday, November 23rd at the El Paso Convention Center at the West Lot. Volunteers and local partners will distribute essential pantry items, canned goods, and other non-perishable foods. Well, Congresswoman Veronica Escobar is calling for a formal investigation into 14 of El Paso's area U.S. Postal Service offices. Coming up, we go over your thoughts in today's In the Comments segment. Thanks so much for watching KTSM 9 Plus, always putting local first.
Scan to download KTSM Plus free.
all with our free lifetime warranty. I'm Randy Johnson, and I want to be your jeweler.
Welcome back. In today's In the Comments segment, Congresswoman Veronica Escobar is calling for a formal investigation into 14 El Paso area U.S. Postal Service offices that affect residents and postal workers. Now, in a letter sent to USPS leaders, Escobar explains that her request comes in light of the significant rise in constituent casework, including delayed mail delivery, vandalized cluster boxes, and unreliable fleet conditions. According to Escobar, it also follows several previous meetings and frequent communication with local USPS leadership. And so we shared the story to our social media pages, and a lot of you had some thoughts that you wanted to share with us. We begin with Michelle White, and she writes, "Why not focus on something that can help us all?" Meanwhile, Chris Thoreau writes, "Thank you. We need someone to look after us at the Postal Service. Unless you work there, you have no idea about the conditions." And Michael Reike shares, "It took me 34 days to get my book of checks." If you want to read the letter that Escobar wrote to USPS Inspector General Tammy Hull, you can visit KTSM.com and click on this story. Well, here at KTSM, we value your opinion and we want to hear from you. So make sure you are following us on our social media platforms. That way you can keep in touch with us through the comments. This weekend, El Pasoans can enjoy a fall harvest festival, holiday gift shopping markets, and so much more. Up next, we have the details in today's Get Pasa. Stay with KTSM 9+.
These offers vanish a toda máquina during Black Friday because Viva makes it happen.
Thanks for staying with us, everybody. It's a full look at that forecast for you. Looking at quiet weather overall, maybe seeing some isolated activity tracking through the region overnight tonight through tomorrow morning, but overall not expecting too much to come our way besides a few fronts. Of course, we are going to see a series of fronts moving in over the next 7 to 10 days, bringing things down quietly and coolly just in time for Thanksgiving. So overall, not looking at anything too concerning, but we have to continue to watch how things are going to be playing out over the next few days. Allergy forecast, not much to worry about, just below the medium concern there. So I'm not looking at anything too worrisome in that department. Radar and satellite, you can see for most of Texas and through really the New Mexico area as well. Not looking at much going on currently, but that is subject to change as we head into the overnight period. Temperatures currently, we have temperatures in the 50s, some 40s over in the Silver City area, Ruidoso 41, Cloudcroft 31. So definitely a little bit cooler out there today as those winds are really hanging out from the north about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And we are going to continue to see that cooler air stick around for the next day or so. You can see temperatures expected to drop furthermore as we head into Sunday. Temperatures down to the lower 60s Sunday, Monday. Trying to rebound a little bit on Tuesday, but we'll see another weak front moving in on Wednesday that will drop temperatures down slightly. But overall, we're anywhere between 62 to 67 degrees. So this is typical fall weather for this time of year. So we actually aren't bad or mad at this forecast by any means. So definitely what we want to be or where we want to be for this time of year for those temperatures. Rain chances over the next 7 days, not much. You can see we have about a 10% chance tomorrow and Sunday, and that's really accounting for that overnight period that we're going to see heading into the early morning hours. So some spotty showers overnight. That's about it that we're expecting over the next 7 days. So overall, looking at a pretty quiet forecast here over the next week or so. Looking at the futurecast, you can see how things will be playing out. It says we have some chance of showers, but really not expecting much of anything overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. We saw that on the 9-hour forecast earlier in the show, but really it looks like we'll be dry overnight into tomorrow morning. Now, as we head into tomorrow afternoon, temperatures warming up a little bit into the upper 60s here in the El Paso region. But as we head into Sunday and Monday, we'll see this low pressure system move through, bringing in a lot of showers and storms off to our north. We'll see those temperatures a little bit cooler heading to Sunday as well, with most of the action staying off to our north as well. So most of us staying pretty dry. Temperatures dropping once again back into the lower 60s once again on Sunday. For tonight, we'll have a few temperatures below freezing at Cloudcroft, right at freezing at Ruidoso, and just above it in Silver City, Deming, Las Cruces as well. We'll be in the lower 40s here in the El Paso area. Highs for tomorrow afternoon, back into the upper 50s and lower 60s overall, having a couple of cooler areas in Cloudcroft, 43 there. And looking at the 9-day forecast, looking pretty quiet overall. We'll see mainly seasonal temperatures, maybe a couple of below normal temperatures by Thanksgiving Day, but overall, a pretty quiet forecast we have here over the next week and a half. Back to you.
makes it happen.
Are you ready to get out there this weekend and have some fun? I'm Cristina Rodda, and this is Que Pasa. It's all about getting you out and about in no time. Let's get started. Head to Las Cruces at the Brannigan Cultural Center. They'll have an exhibition featuring artist Carolyn Bunch Saturday 22nd from 2 to 4 p.m. And Wizard Night in Socorro is Saturday from 4 to 9 p.m. There will be craft stations, vendors, and of course, wand making and an enchanted hunt. Sounds pretty spooky. Also Saturday, Isleta Mission will have Noche Buena, the annual Christmas fair. It's a celebration showcasing creativity, heritage, and craftsmanship of local artists. There will also be free public guided tours of the Isleta Mission. The Fall Harvest Festival is also Saturday from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Vista del Sol Environment Science Academy. There will be photo ops, outdoor games, and vendors. Star City Flight's Hunger in a holiday benefit show with live performance including Pie Sisters and School of Rock. It will benefit the El Pasoans Fighting Hunger Food Bank. This is the region's largest hunger relief organization, and it starts at 2 p.m. on Sunday, 23rd. The 11th annual Homegrown, a New Mexico food show and gift market are at the New Mexico Farm and Ranch Museum, and it happens on Saturday and Sunday from 9 p.m. until 4. And for links to each of these events, go to KTSM.com on Thursdays, search Que Pasa, and on Fridays, look for it on my Facebook at Cristina Rodda KTSM. I hope you have a fantastic weekend.
$199 a month. No payments for 90 days. Visit 1490 Lee Trevino for more details.
Welcome back to KTSM 9 Plus. I'm Cristina Rodda in for Monica Cortez. We're following a couple of developing stories this afternoon. Well, we're still following a developing story out of Horizon, where a man died after a head-on car crash. The incident took place yesterday morning by Homestead Meadows South. According to the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, 34-year-old Benjamin Caballero de Anda crashed with a dump truck after the truck lost control due to wet road conditions. De Anda was taken to the hospital where he later died due to his injuries. From a border report, drone attacks on troops, police, and civilians have increased rapidly in Mexico and Colombia. You're looking at photos of the Colombian Army activating its first drone battalion. Mexico recorded 77 drone bombings in 2024 compared to 35 the year before. Colombia reported its first drone attack in the summer of 2024. It has recorded 50 so far this year. According to authorities, the level of drone use is becoming so widespread that some cartels are acquiring electronic signal jammers to guard against attacks from rivals. Criminal groups in Mexico have been dropping improvised explosive devices since 2017. The Jalisco cartel pushed the envelope in 2023 by establishing the first cartel drone squad. The Colombian Army has responded to this threat by creating its first specialized drone battalion group designed to attack and defend against illegal armed groups such as those guerrillas this past October. And now from our Austin newsroom, the Texas court, which blocked the legislature's recently redrawn maps, has now blocked their appeal to use the new maps while they wait for a Supreme Court decision. This news comes as candidates only have 17 more days to decide which district they're going to run in. Adam Schwager has more.
Supreme Court is on the clock.
It looked like Judge Brown geared his writing to try to achieve a result, and that's something that the United States Supreme Court, I think, is just not going to tolerate.
On Tuesday, a district court blocked Texas from using their Republican-drawn Big Beautiful Map, saying it was primarily determined by race and not partisanship.
The majority found that race did predominate, that there was an intent to separate voters.
However, Republican politicians say they're expecting the Supreme Court to let them use their maps once it's all said and done, leading to confusion on next year's congressional races. In the Houston area, Representative Al Green filed to run for District 18, since the new map would likely make his current district favor Republicans. Meanwhile, State Representative Briscoe Cain has filed to replace Green in District 9 and said immediately after the ruling, "We are running under the lines lawfully passed by the Big Beautiful Map, and the courts will not thwart the will of Texas voters."
I don't know if the Supreme Court's going to move quickly enough to satisfy Texas Republicans on this.
Jessica Huseman is the director of VoteBeat, a nonpartisan election news outlet. With a December 8th deadline to file for office, she believes the Supreme Court likely won't have enough time to implement the new maps this cycle, even if they overrule the recent ruling.
It's entirely possible that the March primary goes off, we use the maps that we're all used to, and then the Supreme Court does overturn this opinion, and those maps do go into effect for the next congressional cycle.
However, the court could place an administrative stay, reverting back to the new map while the court quickly decides which map should be used for 2026.
I expect, given the press of time, we're going to hear something within a few weeks at the most.
In Austin, I'm Adam Schwager.
And in other state news, after federal government approval, a $1.3 billion proposal in Texas is set to provide high-speed internet access statewide. The final proposal was for the Broadband Equity, Access, and Deployment Program, also known as BEAD. It's expected to help connect about 123,000 underserved locations with end-to-end fiber technology, 65,000 via low Earth orbit satellite, and 54,000 locations through fixed wireless. Acting Texas Comptroller Kelly Hancock saying in a statement, reading in part, quote, "With this approval, we will ensure federal funds are used carefully and transparently. with a focus on innovative technologies and real accountability, end quote. We're going to take a break from our headlines right now. Let's take a look outside through our tower cam. We had some spotty showers in our areas the last few days, but right now it is nothing but sunshine. Let's send things over to our guest meteorologist, Darius Stringer.
Happy Friday, everybody. Meteorologist Darius Stringer here with the Check of Your Forecast. Looking at temperatures out there right now, actually kind of cool in a few areas. We got some 30s, some 40s, some 50s, and upper 50s as well. So we see a little bit of everything ongoing currently. We are going to continue to see those temperatures overall continue to cool down overnight tonight. But the good news is the winds haven't been too bad today, mainly around 5, closer to 10 miles an hour over towards the Guadalupe Pass area. Gusts closer to 15. That's about it. So overall, it's just been a nice fall day out there today. We've had plenty of sunshine to go around for everybody, so it's definitely a good way to end the week. You can see most of the activity really well off towards the west there, so really not worried about anything coming our way tonight as we head into the start of our weekend. Looking at our 9-hour forecast, mostly clear skies, maybe some isolated activity trekking through as we get into the late night hours through the overnight hours, but overall looking at fairly quiet conditions, maybe some spotty showers and storms, a little thunder as you're heading to bed, but overall looking at temperatures staying pretty mild through the rest of the evening for weather coming up in just a bit.
The Texas high school football playoffs roll on today, and 3 El Paso teams are still swinging. Eastwood, El Dorado, and Andres, all there, punched their ticket to round 2 of the state's playoffs. Our KTSM Sports on the road in Lubbock, tracking all 3 teams. Here's Sports Director Sam Guzman with much more.
Hey, Christina, we've got 3 El Paso teams currently in the playoffs, the second round, aka the area round of the state playoffs. Those teams being Eastwood, El Dorado, and Andres. All 3 of these teams playing here in the Lubbock area tonight. The first game up is going to be Eastwood versus Byron Nelson, and we are less than a half an hour away from kickoff of that game, 22 minutes to be exact. So I'm going to step out right now. Both teams just kind of wrapped up their warm-ups, so we've got an empty field. But again, Eastwood taking on Byron Nelson. Byron Nelson, a really good team when it comes to Texas high school football. They compete in the same district as South Lake Carroll, who is widely known as a powerhouse in the state when it comes to football. So tough task ahead for Eastwood. And as you can see on your screen right now, you've got the Eastwood faithful out in full force. Parents, family, friends, all making the trip here to Lubbock, Texas to support the Troopers. The Troopers brought their band as well. So the Troopers are definitely going to have support here in Lubbock for their game against Byron Nelson. And I want to say this, Eastwood has easily been one of the best teams in El Paso. They won the District 1-6A championship. They went 10-1, or they're 9-1 in the regular season. That one loss coming to St. John Bosco, who is a powerhouse nationally. They play in Bellflower, California, and they've got a really impressive squad. So for Eastwood's only loss of the season to be to that national powerhouse is really good. So, and Eastwood has won 9 straight games after that. They won the District 1-6A title, and obviously won it by district championship. And now they find themselves here in the area round. So huge turnaround by Eastwood. They missed the playoffs last year, and now they're back and one of the best teams in El Paso. Again, they're going to have their work cut out for them as they take on Byron Nelson tonight. Kickoff is in 21 minutes. We'll have much more coverage coming your way later at 5 and 6. But for now, I'm going to send things back to you in the studio, Christina.
All right, well, good luck to all 3 teams. Sam, thank you. And in case you missed it, officials at the El Paso International Airport say they're expecting a busy few days as more people head out for the Thanksgiving holiday. KTSM 9 News reporter Diana Castillo has more on what travelers should know.
It's business as usual at the El Paso International Airport, and right now it's not very busy, but as we get closer to Thanksgiving, airport officials say they expect to see an uptick in travelers, as that marks the beginning of a busy holiday travel season. It's beginning to look a lot more festive at the El Paso International Airport. But beyond the decor, travelers will soon start filling the terminals. Airport officials say they are expecting travel to pick up starting Friday, with an even bigger rush Sunday and Monday as families return home after the holiday.
So for the total week, it's about 84,000 people going to be coming through. Our most important tip during the holidays is to plan to arrive early, give yourself plenty of time to find parking, and then go through all the queue lines, as we can have increases during the day, throughout the day for the holiday travel.
Now, this comes after the federal government shutdown ended just over a week ago, a shutdown that caused delays at airports nationwide. Now, AAA says most of those impacts have cleared.
The good news is that, you know, all things seem to have returned to normal as far as the reductions in airspace and whatnot. We've moved past that.
And for those driving to their destinations, AAA expects more than 5.3 million Texans to be on the roads this Thanksgiving. They also say gas prices remain fairly steady, but here in the Borderland, averages are slightly higher than the rest of the state.
Texas is sitting at $2.70 today is the average in Texas, and then let me pull up the El Paso average. That right now is sitting at $2.86, so a little bit higher than some other places around the state.
And whether you're flying or driving, officials say the key this week is to prepare ahead and stay patient. From the airport, Diana Castillo, KTSM 9 News.
All right, thank you, Diana. New Mexico Senator Ben Ray Lujan is leading an effort on Capitol Hill to reverse cuts to the SNAP program. Senate Democrats have introduced a bill to repeal cuts to the food assistance program implemented in President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill. The Congressional Budget Office projects $187 billion will be eliminated over the next decade. And from our D.C. newsroom, Secretary Pete Hegseth says he spoke with the Space Command General about moving headquarters from Colorado Springs to Huntsville, Alabama. President Donald Trump announced the move in September, and with it, close to $1 billion in economic activity. Washington correspondent Vinay Simlot explains new clarity that he's gotten on that move.
The Pentagon says this week, Space Command Commander General Stephen Whiting presented options to Secretary Pete Hegseth for U.S. Space Command's move from Colorado Springs to Huntsville, Alabama.
We're still talking to the administration.
Republican Congressman Jeff Crank represents Colorado Springs. He says he's gotten assurances from the Trump administration the move won't be as bad as he feared.
It isn't all of the operational components of Space Command. It's just the headquarters staff.
Crank says it won't include all of the 1,700 people assigned to Space Command headquarters. He says the final number will be closer to 1,000.
600 or so of those will be civilian jobs, and about 400 are military positions.
Back in September, we were in the Oval Office when President Donald Trump announced he'd be moving Space Command from Colorado Springs to Alabama.
Are you concerned that people may not be willing to relocate from Colorado to Alabama?
No, I'm not worried. It will get somebody else.
President Trump said Colorado's mail-in voting system played into his decision to move Space Command's headquarters. The Colorado Attorney General sued the administration.
They have a very corrupt voting system.
Space Command says in a statement, we're still in the early stages of this transition. Specific information or precise numbers are extremely limited. Congressman Crank says he hopes the administration reconsiders the move. In Washington, I'm Vinay Simlot.
There could be a possible increase to your water bill. Coming up, we will tell you how much your water bill could go up and what you had to say in the comments segment. Thanks for watching KTSM 9 Plus, always putting local first.
Thanks for staying with us, everybody. Here's a full look at that forecast for you. Looking at quiet weather overall, maybe seeing some isolated activity tracking through the region overnight tonight through tomorrow morning, but overall not expecting too much to come our way besides a few fronts. Of course, we are going to see a series of fronts moving in over the next 7 to 10 days, bringing things down quietly and coolly just in time for Thanksgiving. So overall, not looking at anything too concerning, but we have to continue to watch how things are going to be playing out over the next few days. Allergy forecast, not much to worry about, just below the medium concern there. So I'm not looking at anything too worrisome in that department. Radar and satellite, you can see for most of Texas and through really the New Mexico area as well. Not looking at much going on currently, but that is subject to change as we head into the overnight period. Temperatures currently, we have temperatures in the 50s, some 40s over in the Silver City area, Ruidoso 41, Cloudcroft 31. So definitely a little bit cooler out there today as those winds are really hanging out from the north about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And we are going to continue to see that cooler air stick around for the next day or so. You can see temperatures expected to drop furthermore as we head into Sunday. Temperatures down to the lower 60s Sunday, Monday. Trying to rebound a little bit on Tuesday, but we'll see another weak front moving in on Wednesday that will drop temperatures down slightly. But overall, we're anywhere between 62 to 67 degrees. So this is typical fall weather for this time of year. So we actually aren't bad or mad at this forecast by any means. So definitely what we want to be or where we want to be for this time of year for those temperatures. Rain chances over the next 7 days, not much. You can see we have about a 10% chance tomorrow and Sunday, and that's really accounting for that overnight period that we're going to see heading into the early morning hours. So some spotty showers overnight. That's about it that we're expecting over the next 7 days. So overall, looking at a pretty quiet forecast here over the next week or so. Looking at the futurecast, you can see how things will be playing out. It says we have some chance of showers, but really not expecting much of anything overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. We saw that on the 9-hour forecast earlier in the show, but really it looks like we'll be dry overnight into tomorrow morning. Now, as we head into tomorrow afternoon, temperatures warming up a little bit into the upper 60s here in the El Paso region. But as we head into Sunday and Monday, we'll see this low pressure system move through, bringing in a lot of showers and storms off to our north. We'll see those temperatures a little bit cooler heading to Sunday as well, with most of the action staying off to our north as well. So most of us staying pretty dry. Temperatures dropping once again back into the lower 60s once again on Sunday. For tonight, we'll have a few temperatures below freezing at Cloudcroft, right at freezing at Ruidoso, and just above it in Silver City, Deming, Las Cruces as well. We'll be in the lower 40s here in the El Paso area. Highs for tomorrow afternoon, back into the upper 50s and lower 60s overall, having a couple of cooler areas in Cloudcroft, 43 there. And looking at the 9-day forecast, looking pretty quiet overall. We'll see mainly seasonal temperatures, maybe a couple of below normal temperatures by Thanksgiving Day, but overall, a pretty quiet forecast we have here over the next week and a half. Back to you.
All right, Darius, thank you so much. In today's In the Commons segment, a possible increase in your water bill. El Paso Water presented its proposed fiscal year 2026-27 water, wastewater, and stormwater budgets to the Public Service Board Thursday evening. Now, if approved, the typical residential bill would increase almost $10 a month, a 12% increase over last year's bill. El Paso Water says the utility is proposing an $830 million budget for capital infrastructure improvements, which include huge investments in system reliability, rehabilitation, and water supply to support the growing El Paso community. Well, we shared this story to our social media accounts, and many of you had some thoughts that you wanted to share. We begin with Jackie Feist, who writes, I'm pretty sure every other utility in El Paso has been shut down for a rate increase, so good luck with that. And meanwhile, Irene Vieira writes, everything keeps going up except the wages. And Ari Amaro writes, we have already paid for flood control in the past and nothing changed. I hope this is blocked. Well, here at KTSM, we value your opinion and we want to hear more from you. So make sure you're following us on our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. This is KTSM 9 News First at 4.
Financial Fridays, sponsored by OneSource Federal Credit Union.
This week's Financial Friday focuses on 5 ways to get ahead financially. While the day-to-day might not feel like you're accomplishing anything, over time these steps could truly help you improve your financial life. Step 1, track your spending. Do you know how much you are spending on certain areas like food and entertainment in a given month? You'll be surprised to see where your money is actually going. So try it. Step 2. Have a money plan. Starting a budget can help you manage your spending and set guidelines for yourself. Step 3. No spend challenge. Try to not spend in problem areas you may have, like shopping, eating out, entertainment, and big purchases you don't really need. Step 4. Maintain consistency. Be consistent with your savings account along with your budgeting efforts so that you can stay on track to reach your goals. Step 5. Put your money to work. In order to truly get ahead financially, you need to also plan for the long term. One of the best ways to build your wealth via investing it and opening a CD with a limited term. Remember, we want to see you succeed. Need help or would like more information? Give us a call. Why? Because we're one source. Of course.
Financial Fridays, sponsored by One Source Federal Credit Union.
Blast. Watch anytime, only on KTSM 9+.
Fairly quiet conditions here. There we go, finally. Clear skies, temperatures cooling down to the 40s by tomorrow morning. Those morning lows actually getting down to the 30s and 20s up into the Cloudcroft area, near freezing there in the Ruidoso area. So definitely a chilly start to our day, but temperatures expected to warm up nicely into the upper 60s tomorrow. We'll see a front, or that system, moving through by Sunday, cooling down those temperatures down into the lower 60s, lower 40s for morning lows, and we'll see another weak front moving in by the middle of the week. That's going to drop us back down into the lower 60s, bringing in morning lows into the 30s as well. But it seems that we'll rebound briefly heading into next weekend before yet a third front moves in on Sunday, bringing those highs back into the 50s. So we got a little bit of some cooler air on the way, but overall a quiet pattern up ahead.
All right, well, good luck to our high school teams that are in the playoffs. 9 News Now with Estela Casas is coming up next.
Hair and wardrobe provided by